Good morning and welcome to another Horizon Forbidden West stream. Hope you're doing well. I've got my coffee. Hope you got yours. Let's jump into the adventure. Wake up would help if my cursor was in the right game. Oh, fresh air. This peaceful morning with a fire crackling nearby. Frozen cold, the snow. Smell of the wood getting deep inside your sinuses. Hoping there's nothing there to trigger your allergies. Okay. Alright, what are we doing here? Frostclaw websec. Alright, we are trying to get materials for building our next piece of equipment. Before I go insane, let's make sure my audio sounds good. Because, yeah. I have got to remember to check that. I would love it if you could set up OBS so all the different functions you could compartmentalize with the game. But too much customization just causes the software to crash. Maybe there's a presets mod or something you can get for enabling and disabling stuff like that. I don't know. Something possibly to look into. I just have the music for the MCM combat. Because it's really quiet. Minus the blaring railgun continuously charging and discharging.
Does make a good die?
There's a lot of blooms here. Alright. Can I go up here? Yes. I think. Nope. How about here? Yeah. Alley-oop? Anything? Here we go. What am I equipped with? Let's see here. Just follow the path. Of course he's not by himself. Well, he is not on their same aggro table. Good morning, Shiny. How are you doing?
There's no more to fire.
How did it survive that? Honestly. All right. Other obstructions have been removed. Now I need the webbing.
Machine's weak to fire.
Not trying to piss you off currently. I would really like to get your items marked first. Explosive chain reaction, detachable quest resource, tag part. Okay. We are going to give you some high explosives. Dead center mass. Ow. Dude. Don't stop moving. Can't stop, won't stop. Valor knocked down. Dude, this guy is pissed.
Okay, new plan.
New plan. Ow. Hi. Dude, I was healing. Oh, this isn't good. I need to put some distance. Oh, I don't think there's anything to heal up here.
Got a piece of it.
Oh. Jeez.
I should loot all these dead machines.
I already looted all the dead machines except for this one. Primary nerve. That is not
I should check out another site.
frost sack. Oh, that's unfortunate. As you'll probably notice, I rely on consuming stupid amounts of healing berries. Change. Not using necessarily the best equipment for what better or worse that is. Do we have a stash anywhere near here? I should be able to stock up on that. Yes, there is. Might as well go there. Use a different drop pod. That's where we should go. That, yeah, that would be problematic.
The Sky Clan is built on
Restock. Restock.
Not stone walls.
Restock again. All right. Back here. All right. Should go left. There it is. And there's grass this time.
Fire can help here.
Tag part. Actually, we will try and see if I cannot destroy the stomach. And see if that will allow me to loot the item. Shoo. Nice. A nice sea of red. I like it. I missed. Did I get the stomach piece? Yes, I did. Well, that's unfortunate. In theory, since I broke the stomach, not gonna. Well, apparently that is not the case. You can still do that. Okay. The Red Sea of Grass. Go away. It'd be funny if getting injured makes him think it's one of the other machines triggering him. Super advanced computer confused by red hair and red plants.
Clever one.
Oh, that didn't work. Oh, wow. I've never seen that before. Probably for good reason. How did I survive that? Oh, hello. That's a rock.
I better reload the boxes here. Might have the parts I need. Wait to find another herd. Get the parts I need.
Really?
Gotta get more ammo.
Enjoy that tree. Hmm. Ghost level up. 61 reached. What? Is there like a hard cap on leveling past 60? I'm curious.
I wonder how much snow is gonna pile up.
Luminous Brandstown. Not what I was looking for. Probably because I destroyed the stomach. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look it up. Hmm. All right. I need. Let's see. Frostclaw sack webbing resource without destroying its chill water unit. All right, that is confirmed. So I have to nickel and dime it without getting that centerpiece. Interesting. Well, that's unfortunate for me. That is just talking out of my posterior. I have no idea if that's a remotely useful option. Okay. Don't destroy the chill water sack. So those explosive rounds are not going to work on him for tearing items because it will inadvertently hit those. Probably should have looked that up before. It may have prevented me from having to go and kill as many of these guys. Here we go. Jump. Alright. Damn. Just when I thought it was at the top. So this is going to be a stalking job. You look kind of rough there, buddy. Ah, nope, still aggroed.
Steady my breath. What's next?
Get that other shoulder next. Just hold still, will you? He does not look happy. You can walk away now. I need the other shoulder, please. Nope. Hold still. You little... I'm gonna have to wait for rotation. Dinner! Not hitting the item I want. That's right. Nobody's here but us chickens. I didn't hit him, but I still triggered the cooldown. Nice. Yes, you're back here. I see that. The fact that that guy can pick you up between his claws and just like try to either bear hug you or shred you, whatever, and the fact that you can survive that, insane. Are you kidding? Fine, we'll do it your way. Okay, so it's not really your way. mind me, I'm not here. This is not a good place to be. The circle is now complete.
Relax a bit now.
Give me your webbing.
Closer.
Nice. Okay.
It'd be good to loot all the dead machines here. Might find the parts.
First call webbing sack. Nice. Good call. Do do do.
Didn't get the parts I was looking for.
You got one.
Another site.
Looks like you're only gonna get one per. I consider that a victory. I don't know why you don't. You did get one. Okay. Wait. Interesting. Probably would have been quite painful. The purge water. Sure. Two more to go. Left turn, Clyde. Last time I aggroed a bunch of things. want to just surgically remove him. Such aspirations, I tell you what. Purge water. You hug that tree.
Stop looking already.
Ooh, that was close. He does not look happy. Show me your other shoulder. Damn it. Oh. I'm spouting out ideas that may or may not be useful. I am pleasantly surprised. In this case, possibly useful. So yeah. We've got a combat system that, Shiny, you know about this. And we're running into an issue where it needs to keep track of information based off of whether they're booted or not. Once the meter boots, all the information that it queried is lost, which is a problem when you are trying to rely and use that information. So my suggestion was to res an object or create an object which stores data specific to every person who comes in, and due to limitations of storage size and such, the best way to do it, in my mind, I'm not a coder. I have concepts. I understand enough to potentially make some good suggestions, which this may be the case. Jury's still out. But what you end up doing is you have a device that creates an object which acts as a backup or a memory. It'll have roughly about 16K bytes of information. And what ends up happening is when the person comes in sim, it creates a profile, it attaches to them, and then it stores their meter information. So when they reset based off of whatever game mode or situation, it can always revert back to the last recorded version, in a sense. That way you can have persistent storage for a person from their previous. If you delete the prim, yes. This is kind of like a temporary memory add-on that is attached to everybody who comes into the zone. So we can store information about that person that won't be just purged because they take their meter off or change mechs. It will have all that backed up. I am not getting a good shot from over here. He is just hell-bent on going to town on that thing. It's not so much you losing bites, it's a temporary storage. Once your meter goes offline, it doesn't remember anything. What happens is you put on equipment, then you tell the meter to check what the equipment it's detecting is, and then if it's legal, it boots up. If it's not legal, you get an error message telling you, this needs to be resolved. But anything that was recorded, your team, you're trying to, for example, track information having to do with which team that you're associated with. The meter doesn't know that. It doesn't care. It's a completely separate component. But there is some issues with the fact that it wasn't maintaining said information between changing of mechs and resetting of the meter. But if you have a completely independent object with a little bit of listening involved, it passively attaches, connects, and stores those messages. So when they boot back up, it will keep track of what team they were on, the amount of points they generated, etc., stuff like that. Well, I'm doing a great job exposing that vulnerability, but I am not hitting it. A lot of stuff we do in that game is working around the limitations that the grid has. It was never designed to do what we are making it do. Oh my goodness, my aim. Yeah, don't leave the weeds. I have like the weakest of framework on that, and I like to say partly because I feel like writing code is a language, so it should read kind of like language. And it doesn't really do that very well. Seriously, I cannot hit the giant glowing spot. Enjoy that tree. Stay away from me. Smile. Yes! Okay. Finally. Ah, damn it. Too many ways for it to go wrong. Okay. Perfect world scenario would be a good idea. More moving parts, the more potential things for failure. So conceptually, it's sound. Execution in a imperfect grid, that's a whole nother story. Do you have loot? Nope. No loot. The crazy part is they're talking about implementing another coding language that, in theory, will work in tandem. They're going to be moving mono and replacing it with luau. I don't know. I have been told by somebody, I don't know if this is accurate, but luau is the same coding language that is used in Roblox. No components for you. Nobody's here but us chickens. My only experience with luau, L-A-U, no, L-U-A, Lua, not luau, Lua, is a lot of plugins and OBS scripts are programmed with Lua. Yes. Look at the pretty colors. I'd question even that. So I have a hit counter for wins and losses that I can trigger, and for some reason OBS just stops paying attention to it, and I don't know if it's in the Lua script or in OBS and or a breakdown of the hotkeys. So when it goes offline, instead of me being able to trigger the event and animation, I have to manually just go and change the values, and it just updates it with no animation. So it's still functional, but I have to jump through a couple menus in order to update it, and that's kind of irritating. I have tinkered with it. I have thrown Chat GPT at it to try to work out a fix, and thus far nothing has worked. We tried doing a refresh of the hotkeys, and it rebinds it at one point, and it wasn't thinking about because it's ChatGPT, and it's just made multiple rebindings for the same function, which not working. Then there's a attempt to reload, a soft reload of the script to try to unstick it, and that did not work. It just ignores it. And then there was another type of a refresh that we tried that was supposed to trigger on the event of any time you change a scene to try to keep it live and or active. Oh, that was dumb. Yeah. I can work around it. It's just I would like it just to work. You know, I'm summoning the Todd Howard. It needs to just work. You're looking a little rough there, buddy. I'd love to just do one between the eyes, but I don't know that it'd work. Intrusive thoughts win.
Get back down.
Ow. This is why I can't have nice things. Woo! I got 2 claws!
Better loot all the machine carcasses here.
I do not need to loot all the machine carcasses. I just needed that one guy. Yeah, and considering the fact I don't understand the language or what it's doing, does not help. There's also one section of the code that, based off of some of the people who've looked at it, it looks like a image is been rendered in a coded format, which makes no sense. It's like it's taken an image and broke it down into code. I don't know the way to describe it. Instead of it just being a attachment, it just takes the image and breaks it down into an algorithm. No, I don't. And what's interesting is it's not specific to just that one counter. Any of the counters provided by that particular individual have the exact same issue, which again, either it's because of the code problem being similar across the board with the Lua script, or it's on the OBS end, and I don't know. There are a lot of things that I just wish I could find unending versions and replacements, but that is not really in the cards. I want your loot. Thank you. So to give you an idea, we are not the original owners of the game. It was purchased and passed on to us. And in the process of the new primary coder learning the ins and outs of the system, they found on the website that there was like 1,500 errors. They just turned off flagging because the people who originally built the game framework were not professional coders. And for them, turning off flags was the simplest way to make it work without giving them issues. So, yeah. Are you familiar? I'm guessing you are, but lists, when you're referencing a list, if this, do this. If this, do that. And so on and so forth. Back here. All right. Well, it's basically a kind of like a logic tree. It's very simple. The problem is it would get the answer, but it wasn't told to stop looking. So it would continue looking and asking the same question over and over and over again, even after it got the question. Suffice to say, yeah, the more of those events that triggered, the worse it got. And you originally would have people getting in close proximity triggering this, and the script load would shoot through the roof because of the fact that everybody's meter was doing exactly what limited resources. Each sim has, I think it's 24 seconds of compute time kind of thing. And it's a really kind of weird way of frameworking it from my perspective. But you have a limited amount of script time, and it was just compounding the amount of script time you were using. And once you reach a point where you can no longer stably run the script time, everything starts slowing out, down and delaying. Yeah. That's some elevation there. We'll just try going up the road. So that got fixed. There's this one where, let's see.
Snowfall's blanketing the land.
What I'm aiming for is the pair goes back to spawn. Where am I? Facing the wrong direction. Still facing the wrong direction. Right direction. Follow the path. If there's no spawn, you go nowhere. If you go to the dev platform, there's no spawn, you go there. If there's a training area, you go there. If there's more than one spawn, one is either picked at randomly or we have to figure out which one is the right one and need to know a way to look and see how it sends it to the appropriate location, and it needs to be outside of the meter. Meter can just say respawn on a channel and the system will handle it. Yeah, it absolutely needs to be an external force. We rely on past data. There's too many ways to let SL confuse it. You hit the reset, it will relabel to respawn. Meter will say respawn, and there'll be an object listening. Figure out which area the mech is in, and the team flag, and so on. So not a local storage, but just a proximity to a location. When the meter boots up, then potentially gives it the location where to go to. Then potentially just listen to see what, or query what team color flag they're wearing, and then throw them. That's another way of doing it, because it's all live tracking at the moment. You just have to put out the different signals for the system to listen to and pick up. No. Right now, the coding is written in a combination of LSL and mono, or it's just run in mono. I'm, again, not a coder. The Lua is supposed to replace mono, so I'm assuming it's its own scripting language or variant. LSL, what was it paralleling? I'm trying to remember. It's an object-oriented, event-driven, or event. Oh, I'm drawing a blank. Event engine. Good God. It's not event driven. State machine. State machine. It uses a state machine framework. Has superficial similarities with C-based languages, particularly in its syntax, using similar symbols, structure, elements. However, the underlying structure and core concepts differ significantly. Event-driven, state-based. That is what I was looking for. You have my final piece. Give me your treasure. One shot! Yeah! Yeah, I know. You're coming over here to smell the roses. Excuse me? I am in the weeds. Shrink in size, very small. We've got to save enough room for all. Make an official server. Keep it simple enough that someone can game module. A lot of this development that we are tied up with right now, distracting us from everything else we are trying to do with this game, is due to working with a event group called The Gathering, which this is going to be their second year of hosting a massive event that they have well over 100 people participating, and they have 10 different groups, or they call them tribes, competing for in a number of different challenges, and at the end they get kind of the award for their tribe getting the best score or number of points in the competition. And they were initially looking for a combat kind of styled thing that functioned kind of like battle bots, and I don't know of anything on the grid that actually is really in that wheelhouse. There's a number of different things, but I haven't run across that. And they came to us because they literally knew nothing about what we were. They knew that we had technology or machine-based combat, which mechs, but were unaware of the nuances. And after seeing just how in-depth and intricate our game was, they're like, this could probably be a really good fit. And they swapped us out with this other event they were looking for. Well, their abbreviated play style for what they're wanting to do on the event day requires tracking of teams, scores, all kinds of different information. But because of the fact it's not just about having who wins or loses, they want to have a display in their area that shares the live stats as they are going through the particular event so people can watch. We're spitting out data like how much damage someone does, how damaged are they, besides their number of opponents killed, their deaths, etc., etc. But this information needs to be presented and shared in a manner that when they swap out, hence the previous discussions, when they change mechs, they reboot their meter, all this stuff needs to be stored. Yes. And our system is basically a closed one as far as development, but you can make different types of tools based off of just listening to messages said in the region. Like, we had one community member who created a invaluable piece of work, which just consisted of taking the information that was spoken having to do with events and ended up creating a pretty badass scoreboard for us, which meant we didn't have to work on something ourselves, because before that point we were just like, okay, well, you got X amount of lives. When you die this amount of times, just stay dead or get off the field. Which, it's not tracking that information. It's just the honor system at that point, because our focus was on making the combat work, not making the game environments. And this person literally just listened to the messages spoken in the zone and made it tally up the number of kills based off of the person's name. And it has been wonderful. He created a system to throw flags that are temporarily attached, so you have your color affiliation, a HUD which attaches to your screen to let you know what your team status is and your opponent's status. And this is all just by listening, so you can reshape the game in crazy simple ways that make a massive difference. You're coming the wrong way, dude. Go away. We've had this discussion before. Messages, I do believe, have a limited amount of size, which also does not help. And the more compressed it is, the more resources it takes to uncompress it, and creates a delay in referencing the information.
This will be in my stash when I need it.
Pay no attention to the person looting the corpses. Give me your shoulder. Again, long-term storage is really a difficult concept, because as soon as the script resets, all that information is lost, unless somehow it is rewritten in a way well, each particular script can be no more than 64 kilobytes. So there's not a lot of space to be able to put anything into one given script. You can put as many scripts as you want into an individual object, which is just a storage container for all intents and purposes. But there is a hard limit. This is a script limit of LSL within the Grid's engine for coding. Mono has greater capabilities in a sense, but I don't know the the actual ins and outs on what mono does better than LSL. Mono allows for more options I'm aware of, but that's all I'm aware of. And it's not something that you can use all the time. For our purposes, anyway. What? Your shoulder? Give me the shoulder.
Now's my chance.
Yay for iframes during the kill animation. Come on, give me that shoulder.
That was all I had.
Damn it. Hit the guy behind him by 100 meters. Yeah! Stomach is still intact. Give me your treasures. Okay. I obtained 3 web stacks from that one guy. Hell yeah. All right. Need workbench. Nice. Level 2. All right. Stormbird storm cannons is all I need for this next one. Create job. Yes. Thankfully, I don't need a lot for the upgrades on there. I have a large number of them. However, I want the other one. Come on, man. I told you to track it. Abandoned job, track job. Yes. Quest. Stormbird. Why am I not being guided towards... I know I've encountered a stormbird before. Sunwing. Glinthawk. You're gonna argue with me, aren't you? I know I'm gonna end up having to go after some of those trimmer tusks. Skydrifter. Wasn't there one next to the... I think there was. I'm gonna have to check. Oh, let's see. Where are stormbirds? Mountains west of the Memorial Grove. It's joined by a dreadwing. I am right. So I have to go here and then go into that. Leave the area. Let's see. Asking me to remember where to go to figure it out. At the moment, they're open. Make the official server please. Leave the arena. This is where the like this location. We have to remember that location. There's no way around this. Yeah. We do have currently an oddity that with our teleport system, even though we have dedicated landing points, that when they're on a team, for example, the red side or the blue side, that it is supposed to take them back and forth to the same spawn points. But for some reason, even though the coding for that is set up with the actual coordinates to take them there, they don't do it. They throw you at the other side, which we found one issue of why it was happening. But apparently there's now something else that is creating that problem. You stamp out one bug and you reveal others. It's kind of like, oh, my back hurts really, really bad. Your back feels better than you realize. Oh, it's not just my back. That's just not protesting loud enough to drown out everything else. There is going to be one stormbird here. I need 3 cannons, I think. And I don't know how many each one has. There she is. I have one of... Closer.
Fire's not gonna help.
Rarest resource. Tag target. Stormbird cannon. Let's find out if the same rule applies as with the sack on the Frostbears. Alright. Use tear damage weapons and tear arrows to detach it from the chest while it's alive. After detaching, you pick it up on the ground before it disappears. Okay. So this one I can use my tear ammo and just detonate it off its torso. Then just loot it and run like hell. Yeah, birdie, birdie, birdie.
Here we go. You swallow.
Run away, chicken. Stormbird cannon. Okay. He's only got one, so fortunately, it's not the most productive. But that also means I don't have to stick around. I don't want to. Don't have much damage on you.
I can keep going.
See you, loser! We're gonna land in a teleport and find out if there's another Stormbird location. Oh, what the hell?
Finish her! Yeah, I can going in!
You know what? Enjoy that.
You'll suffer for that!
I've got her in my sight.
How you like them apples? I've clearly been here before. Ah. Alright. Is there another place for a bird, just in case killing it does not cause that to reset? Found in several specific machine sites, primarily arid and mountainous regions. Northeast of Meridian. I just want a map. Can you just show me on a map? That would be kind of nice. No, I do not want you to harvest my data. I just want to see the image. Thank you very much. All right. Compare that to the map. Okay, that is showing it over here. Where's the other one? Stormbird location towards the north. Hmm. I don't see that area on this map. So, yeah. Mountains west of Memorial Grove, second place is in the ruins of San Francisco, northwest of Legacy Fall. Let's see, Isle of Spires, northwest region on an island. You know what? I may not have exposed that part of the island yet, which is why it's not on the map. It's going to be in here, which is why. Okay, we've answered that question. All right, I will be right back. So, I am going to not take all that time to get distracted and go in there. I'm going to go for the location that I do know that has one. But because I don't want to go back only to find out he has everything still blown off of him, we're going to relog. That should guarantee. Title screen, yes. Gots to game the system. Oh god, here they go again.
Hang in there!
Sucks to be you! I fight with high explosives. I don't know what you mean by no honor. Damn. Just in the general areas enough. These fire spikes are amazing. A bronze ingot. Alright. We go back up. Come on, you can do this. Why you can grab some places and not others, I am not entirely sure. They look like you should be able to. Huzzah. Hoppity skippity. Come on. There's gotta be a way. Just have to find the right spot. Come on, World of Warcraft skills, don't fail me now. There we go. I spent a lot of time climbing around Ironforge on the mountains and other places using my warrior and his heroic leap, getting to places I probably should not have been, just for the sake of exploration. Oh, hello.
Hunt will be a little quicker if I use cover.
Yep. Take first. No, wrong one. Enjoy that. Sup? Now where's your cannon? Here we go.
Now that's a find.
Nothing like sicking titans on titans. You can. I was wondering. Yep. No need for you to continue to fight. Okay. Very nice. We got our last item for that upgrade. False edge. I need left turn, Clyde. Well, that didn't work. Get a room!
Outlander, come and trade.
Do you have anything of value? Oh, see, that's purples. Echo show. I will buy all of those. Cannot get enough of those. I will buy all. Your machine. Blast paste, sure. Metal bone, sure. piercing. Behemoth force loader. Green shine chunk. You guys only got one. 3. Okay. Breaking. Volatile sledge. Blaze.
That look. It's time to change it, right?
No. No, it's not. It's time to improve it. I am keeping this outfit. Yeah. Apex, Stormbird, Heart, Fireclaw, Websack. Yet another one. We will probably knock that one out next session. Okay. Well, that is going to wrap it up for this session. I got 2 upgrades on my armor, which is great. I have been kind of procrastinating that on the weapons and the armor for a while, and it's nice to get that focus to give me some more survivability. Because when I start going against the far zenith again, it's going to be painful, and I'd like as much flexibility and resistance as possible before I start getting my butt handed to me. But with that, Shiny, thanks for stopping by. Hope you have a good rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you next stream. Take care.